All right, Kristina, I do want to be mindful of your time and our students' time. So if you don't mind, we will go ahead and get started. I'll keep an eye on our waiting room and let folks in as they're joining us. But thank you again for joining us today. We do have career advisor Kristina with us from Career and Professional Development Services. And she'll be talking with us today about what we need to do to prepare for career fairs. So Kristina, whenever you are ready.
Thank you so much, Abby. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and then we'll get started. All right, so as Abby mentioned, I'm very excited to meet with you guys today to talk about prepping for a career fair. I know that going to a career fair can be kind of anxiety inducing, can kind of get the nerves going. So my goal is that after this presentation, you guys will feel confident and you'll know all the steps to be able to manage a career fair successfully. All right, so what are we going to be talking about today? So first is going to be an overview. So we're going to talk about identifying a goal for a career fair. We're going to talk about career competencies. So these will be what employers are looking for kind of upon graduation or what they're looking for internships. We're going to be talking about developing a powerful introduction. This is going to be almost like your elevator pitch that you're going to give to those employers to kind of introduce yourself. And then we're going to talk about exactly what to expect and what it's going to be like attending these fairs. All right. So before the fair, right, what do we need to do before the fair to get started? So before the career fair, we really want to start with what goal do we have in mind? So maybe you're a freshman and you're going to the career fair just to experience it, just for it to be your kind of first time to see what it likes. That could be a goal. Maybe you're a junior and you're wanting to secure an internship for the summer, right? That's going to be a goal. Or maybe you are about to graduate and you want to secure a full-time job. So then that's going to be your goal. And then the next thing you want to do is make sure you're preparing your resume and powerful introduction. We're going to highlight some of the key things for resume. I know you guys had a workshop dedicated to that, but we're going to go over them just a little bit today. And then we're going to focus on developing a powerful introduction. And then the last thing you want to do before the career fair is think about your audience, right? Who are you going to be meeting with? What is the industry like that you're going to be applying to? What language does the industry want for those applications? And to make sure you're mindful of that before you go into the career fair. All right, so next we're going to talk about career competencies. So these are the 8 career competencies that have been identified by NACE. NACE is the National Association of Colleges and Employers. So these are all 8 transferable skills that employers across all industries and job functions are looking for upon their graduates. So we have critical thinking, communication, leadership, technology, career and self-development, teamwork, professionalism, and equity and inclusion.
And just to quick input here with the Work Plus program, obviously in your journey through the Work Plus Canvas pathway, these are the exact same 8 competencies that we're focusing on. So just again to point out the importance of them and to remind you that in your process, your journey with Work Plus, we do provide you with that Work Plus accomplishment tracker to help you really identify different tasks or responsibilities that you might have, whether it's class projects, internships, or your current positions here with ASU, that you're utilizing these skills just to help you better prepare and create these different powerful statements and pieces that Kristina is going to be hitting on. So just a reminder that you will also see all of these competencies in your Work Plus pathway and should be utilizing and kind of reflecting back on these throughout your different tasks that you have.
Thank you, Abby. Yes, so these are going to be great competencies. You're so lucky to be getting to have them tailored and get to work on them with Work Plus. So all of these are great. So next, let's kind of talk about what to bring. So I would like to make this a little interactive. So if anyone on the call wants to pop into the chat, what is one thing that you may think you want to bring to a fair?
I'm trying to think, Kristina, back to when I was going to those. I think my first thing that I made sure to bring was a resume. Not that I think my resume may have been correct, but I think that was one of my top pieces that I was thinking I needed to bring.
Yeah, definitely.
Does anybody else in the call have any ideas or things that you should be bringing with you to career fairs? If you want to come off mute, you're more than welcome to, or like Kristina said, throw it in the chat. That's awesome as well.
Give you guys another second. If not, that's okay too. Oh, here we go. But resumes, yes, right? Resumes would be a great one. Yeah, and so we'll kind of talk about what exactly we can bring now. So what you want to bring to the career fair, right? Definitely resumes, right? That's the first one on here. So we suggest bringing multiple copies of your resume, right? You're going to meet with many different employers. So you'll want to be able to drop that off at the table at the career fair. If there are specific employers that you're wanting to get a job with, we suggest that you have a tailored resume based on that job description that you're wanting the job for. So you can have a more generic resume for the mass amount of different employees you're going to see. But if you have specific ones you want to get a job for, make sure you have those specific resumes tailored and ready to go. We also suggest you guys bring a notepad and a pen. There might be some notes or some things that you want to take down to remember. Or if you're using the notes on your phone is a better option, you can totally do that too. And then we are going to have you guys work on a powerful introduction, and we're going to focus on the details of that in a few minutes. And another helpful tip I have for you guys is to choose 5 employers from the list posted on Handshake to network with. So if you go into the events tab, you'll be able to see all the different employers there. We kind of suggest picking out 5 that you really want to talk to and to get your foot in the door with. All right, so now we're going to talk about what I've mentioned several times already, right? What is this powerful introduction? What is this type of elevator pitch? So what it is we get to identify the outcome of the introduction and what makes you unique as an individual, right? We're going to write it down. You guys are going to practice it. And then you want to be able to have this in your head without having to look at notes. So you don't need to have it perfectly memorized, but you want to have it so that you know what you're going to say and you know what's coming next. So have that broken down for you guys. So there is a QR code here, which you guys can feel free to scan with your phone. And then this is going to take you to the handout on the CPDS website. But it breaks it down like this. So you're going to start by saying your name. And then you're going to talk to the employer about what you're interested in. Then you're going to tell them what coursework you have. You're going to tell them what your strengths are and then what you're looking for. And this pitch right there is going to be your powerful introduction or your little elevator pitch. So here's an example one down here that we're going to look at together. So hello, my name is Jennifer and I'm interested in human resource. I have experience as an executive assistant at a local finance organization where I interviewed and onboarded new members. My strengths are in communication, problem solving, and working as a team member come into play on a daily basis working in food service. On the job, my business training has supplemented my communication degree and contributed to my interest in growing knowledge in human resource. I'm looking forward for more information about what's going on in your organization when hiring HR coordinators. Right? So it was nice and broken down. It followed that same format, but it gave that employer a really good idea of who this person is and what they're looking for. All right. And then again, that QR code is on there. So if you go ahead and scan that, it's going to take you guys right to the handout, and then you can print that and use that to develop your powerful introduction. Okay. So next, we're going to talk just a little bit about crafting your resume. I know that you guys had a whole presentation on this before, but we're just going to go over kind of the main stuff that you want to have for the career fair. So make sure you have a nice formatted resume, right? So no templates. You want to make sure it's black and white, single spaced, have your margin between 0.5 to 1 inch. That way you can get the max out of the page on the resume. Make sure it's easy to read font. Your name should be 14 to 16 font size, and the rest of the resume should be 10 to 12. Okay, so building the competencies for your resume, right? Like if you're a freshman and you don't have a lot of work experience to add on, that's totally okay. There's tons of other areas that you can fill your resume. So we can talk about clubs and organization, any type of community service, any internships that you've done, any professional organizations you're a part of course, if you've done any part-time work, if you've done any study abroad, any student activities that you're a part of, class projects or service learning, these can all be put as accomplishment statements in your resume. So let's go into accomplishment statements really quickly, right? This is going to be mainly the brunt of the resumes that the employer is looking for. So you want to make sure that you have your experience in the action verb, project, results format. So that way it's showing the employer the outcome of the experience that you had. So this page kind of breaks that down and shows you how to do that there. Okay, so here's an example of what experience might look like, right? So we can see this is a little bit on the weaker side, right? They have what they did, and then they say they took notes for medical professionals, organized files for patient information, and assisted with non-medical patient care. So we have our action verb and we have the project, but we're missing all the outcomes here. So this needs a little bit of editing. So when we fix that and we add that outcome, we can see we have such more detailed accomplishment statements, and this is going to be what the employers are looking for, right? So they utilize electronic record system to efficiently report patient data for over 5,000 patients. Right? That gives the employer a lot more information than what was on the previous slide. Supported communication between medical staff by accurately recording all interactions and responding to patient requests promptly, right? Added way more information. So we want to make sure we're adding those outcomes section to our resume. All right. So next, let's talk about what is going to happen during the fair. So I'm going to give you guys another chance to be interactive. Does anyone have any idea what they think it would be like to be in the fair? You can go ahead and put it in the chat or feel free to come off mute.
Kristina, while they're kind of thinking on that and giving them a chance if they're putting stuff in the chat, just a quick question. So with materials to bring, when you had mentioned to bring multiple copies of your resume, of course, this answer could vary, but do you have any idea, like generally how many employers are at a career fair to like give an idea of like, is 12 copies enough? Should I bring upwards of 50 copies? Like how many, roughly, of course, how many copies do you think a student should take?
Yeah,
of course, like thinking too to keep sustainability, like we don't want to print too many. Any idea or tips on that?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. So I would say, so for how our fairs are, the ones that are in person. So the internship fair that we had last week was about 50. And then the career fairs that are going to be coming up at the end of September, that's going to kind of triple in size. And those are going to be about 150. So my suggestion would be to look on Handshake, see what employers you're most interested in, and then maybe have 10 copies of your resume ready to go. And then make sure you have those specific tailored resumes to the companies that you are wanting to possibly get the job with or get an internship with.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any ideas, and that's okay because this is something new that we're just experiencing. So let me go ahead and tell you what it's going to be like during the fair. So we'll go in first to what do we want to wear at these fairs. So we want to make sure that we are choosing like a nice blouse or a nice shirt. I mean, obviously it's still hot and it's summer, so you don't need to be coming in a full suit and tie or anything like that, but just making sure you're wearing a professional top. You know, not too much jewelry. We don't want to be too flashy or have too much accessories. We really want you to stand out and not too much, you know, all of the bling and accessories. You know, remove any tags that you have. Make sure you're in nice shoes, you know, making sure you have good hygiene, hair groomed, clothes are ironed. And if you would like, you could bring maybe a portfolio that looks a little bit more professional. At these career fairs, we do have backpack drop-offs. So you will be able to leave a backpack or scooter or skateboard in our room where we do have people watching them and making sure all your stuff is secure. That way you can just go into the career fair and you can not be carrying all that and kind of have more of a professional presence. All right. So another thing with that is, right, you can look your best on a budget, right? A professional wardrobe, it doesn't have to drain your bank account. You don't have to go and spend tons of money to go and prepare for a career fair. You can look at local consignment shops. Goodwill is a great place. I go there all the time.
I also do. There's absolutely no shame in that game at all. Utilize it.
Right, exactly. They have great blazers there. Some other ones, there's like for females, there's Plato's Closet. That's another big one that has a lot of stuff there. Any of these thrift stores and then outlet malls, they usually have big discounts too. All right. So networking. So networking is going to be the main thing that you're doing at the career fair, right? We're talking to people, we're meeting with them, and we have some different information that I'm going to give you just about how big networking is nowadays. So when you're creating these connections at the fair, this is what's going to be most likely to lead you to a job or an internship. So currently 85% of jobs are filled through employee referrals and networking. So it's really the #1 way that companies are recruiting through employees referring people that they know. So really practicing this early on is only going to benefit you for your entire career path. All right. So in-person networking, right? How does that work? What is that like? So you want to be prepared, right? Dress for the industry that you're looking to go into. Make sure your resume is ready, right? Research the industry in advance. What type of things are they looking for? What is the company going to be like? And then you want to make sure you have that confident introduction, right? That you have that powerful introduction, that elevator pitch ready to go. And then you also want to ask them for any contact information. Most of these people should have business cards with them, so you can ask the employer for a business card. That way, if you want to follow up or reach out to them again, you can. Also, a lot of them will have their LinkedIn accounts, and you can feel free to make a connection with them on LinkedIn to further networking. Okay, so what questions to ask? Right, I'm going to give you guys the option to be interactive again. So if you would like, go ahead and come off mute, or you can put in the chat, what is the question that you could ask an employer at a fair? And if you can't think of any, that's okay too. I have a whole list that we'll go over together. No idea. That's okay, we can learn it today. All right, let's go ahead and we'll go and learn together what are some good questions to ask.
Kristina, we did get one that says what they think is lacking in the job market. Would that be a good question to ask them?
Yeah, that could be a good question, definitely. So great, thank you for that response. Okay, so let's go into some other questions we can ask. So you want to ask the employer about the position, right? What does a typical day look like at that job? We want to ask them about the hiring process. What does the hiring process look like for this position? how long does it take to be onboarded? We want to ask about their experience. What's their favorite thing about their job? What makes them happy? What makes them want to go every day? Ask about growth and development opportunities, right? You want to be able to grow and to develop at the company that you're going to be working for. So we can ask, how does this company support employees as they grow and level up their skills and responsibilities? Some other questions we can ask about the company's products, services, or recent news, right? So what does a typical day ask about company culture. So what is the culture like? What does it feel like to be there? And then we can ask how we can stay in touch, right? What is something that we can contact you? Is that through LinkedIn? Is that for email? How can you further contact that employee? Okay, so after the career fair, right, what are some things that we should be doing to follow up, and what should we do next? So one is we want to have email etiquette for our follow-up, right? So use a subject line properly, maybe your name and the career fair, right? Include a greeting, like if you should have their names, you can say, hello, so-and-so, it's great to meet you. It was great to meet you at the career fair. I'm trying to talk to you about this and this going forward. You can treat the email as a professional document and then sign and restate your contact information. That way that they can make sure they're reaching out to you. Okay, and then we want to make the most of our search, right? So plan it out. Make sure you're including time in your schedule to conduct your job search, right? Searching for a full-time job can kind of be a full-time job sometimes. So you want to give yourself a reasonable goal, maybe 2 or 3 job applications every 2 days. That way you can ensure yourself accountability for planning in the job search process, right? We want to personalize it. So this is your chance to show the employer what you've done, your research, and that you're really interested in this company and the position. You want to make sure you're tailoring your resume to match the keywords in the job description for those specific companies you want the job for, and giving them examples of times you've accomplished those key responsibilities in your cover letter, right? So we want to be organized. So through the job search process, we recommend entering titles, companies, hiring managers as important dates into your spreadsheet so that you can refer back to this when you're called by the employer. With this spreadsheet, you can manage and track your applications through a system that works best for you. We've seen students create folders on their desktops that they organize by company where they're able to keep their resume, cover letter, and job description on hand. That way they can refer back to them before an interview. And managing and tracking your job search process is also helpful in reflecting on how many jobs you've applied to and who you should follow up with. So if you find you're needing help with these strategies, you can always come and visit us at CPDS, and we'll gladly help you to learn the best practices for these employers. That's kind of a good key thing to finish up after the fair. So again, just to reiterate it, so before the fair, you want to make sure you're developing those goals. You want to make sure you prepare your powerful introduction, and you want to make sure you're crafting an update on your resume. During the fair, you want to make sure you have your professional dress. You want to make sure you're giving those resumes to the employers. And of course, most importantly, right, you are networking, you are talking, you are introducing yourself. And after the career fair, you want to follow up with the employers using the email, making sure you're using proper email etiquette. And then you want to create that organization system to keep track of what you're applying to. All right. So career advice, right? How can CPDS help you with a career fair? So we have different topics here that we can help you guys with. So if you're still looking at career exploration, we can help you explore maybe what type of employers will be at the fair. We can help you with editing and tailoring your resume and cover letter so that you can have those ready before the fair. We'll help with job and internship search. We can help with informational interviewing, LinkedIn profile development, So if you're wanting to make sure that you have a LinkedIn ready to go for these fairs, you can book a one-on-one appointment and we'll help you develop this and get it to college and employer standards. We do interview prep and practice, salary negotiation, right? That can be kind of tricky upon graduation. We will really help you break that down properly. If you decide to go on a grad school, we'll help you guys with personal statements and grad school resources. So we are here to help you from the very beginning of your career journey all the way until the end. We're even here for when you are alumni. So some of our online resources, right? We have virtual advising. So even if you're not on campus or you're in another state, right? No problem. You can have the same services in a one-on-one virtual appointment. If you are short on time and you're not able to do an actual, one-on-one appointment for a resume, we have resume Dropbox on our website where you can upload the resume and then it'll be edited and sent back to you. We have Interview Stream, YouTube, and Mentor Network and Handshake, and these can all be found on our website. All right, so I do have another question for you guys. What is one thing that you guys think you can do in the next 24 hours to put you on the path of success for a career fair? Again, you can go ahead and put that in the chat, or you can go ahead and unmute.
So what's one thing that Kristina has said today that you can do in the next 24 hours to make sure you're on the right path for success for career fairs? I see in the chat, we do have somebody said they're going to go ahead and update their resume. Absolutely. That is a great starting point, is making sure that that resume is up to date as much as possible. And that's also just a good reminder, Kristina, correct me if I'm wrong, but just a good reminder to go through and update your resume often, right? Like, you might get caught up in your day-to-day tasks with work or different class activities, but try to make it a reminder, once a month, once every other month, get in there and update that, just so that you don't forget some of these key tasks or opportunities that you've had.
Definitely. In college, you guys are learning so many skills and so many things. You always have so much to add on to there. Oh, and someone else said update their LinkedIn. Yes, perfect. Get your LinkedIn updated. That's going to be something else that's going to really help you guys. All right. Thank you guys for those answers. Those were great. So next, this is going to be kind of our career fairs that we have coming up. So feel free to use the QR code and this will take you right to the link to sign up for them. So we have a career and internship fair on Tuesday, the 27th. This will be from 1 to 4 p.m. This will be at Tempe campus in the Memorial Union on the second floor. We should have about 100 to 150 employers there. We will also have day 2. So this is going to be Wednesday, September 28th, same time from 1 to 4. And this will be at the Memorial Union. And then for those of you who aren't on campus or you don't have the time to make it, we also have a virtual fair for you. And this is going to be Wednesday, October 5th, and this will be 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The access to this is going to be through Handshake. And for the virtual fair, what will happen is you will log in to the Handshake, and then you'll go into different employer rooms. So we'll just go from room to talk to that employer. All right.
Kristina, just to clarify real fast, sorry. For the 2 fairs, so both on Tuesday and then the next on Wednesday, are those the exact same employers both days, just in case students might have class all day Tuesday, they can't make it, those same employers will be there on Wednesday, or is it different?
Yes, it should be the same employers. We might have a couple that aren't coming or will be different, but when you go to sign up for this, there will be all the employers listed in there, so you can make sure that who you're wanting to see will be at that fair.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, so now I'm going to open it up. Does anyone have any questions? Would they like to know anything else in more detail? maybe I did a great job. You guys, another minute here just in case. All right, well, if you have any questions, feel free to let Abby know and then she can relay them back to me. And you can always make an appointment with me or one of our other career advisors, and we can help you with any step that you're in on the career development process. So thank you guys so much for your time today. And I hope that you feel confident, and I hope that to see you at the fairs coming up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kristina, for taking the time today to meet with us and help our students be better prepared. For the rest of you, thank you for joining us today. Of course, if you, like Kristina said, have any other questions or concerns that you might have that you think of later, feel free to contact me directly. You can contact Kristina. Of course, if you would like to just reach out to the Work Plus program generally, you can send us a DM on Instagram, email us, whatever works best for you. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, Kristina, I was just gonna say, we do have something in the chat real fast. Okay, where can we book the appointments for LinkedIn development?
Okay, let me go ahead, and if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you guys exactly how we can do that. So give me 1 second. I'm going to switch to a student account, and then I'm going to walk you through how to do that on Handshake. All righty, I'm going to share my screen with you guys now.
And just saying, I do think that that is another professional development session that we'll have coming up, I think in October or November. November, I believe, is when we focus on the LinkedIn session as well. So if it's not an urgency to get your LinkedIn updated, because if you aren't able to make it next week to those career fairs, we will be having a special session later on. But please, Kristina, show us how we can do it today.
Yes, of course. So you're going to go over here to the Arizona State University Career Center once you log into Handshake. And then you'll go over to this tab right here that says appointments. You're going to schedule a new appointment. You're going to hit all students, any major career internship advising. And then you'll be able to select from the different options here. Since mine is an advisor account, it doesn't show all the options, but there will be one for LinkedIn profile view here as well on your student account. So you'll go ahead and you'll click the type. Then from here, you're going to select the date and you'll be able to see the different advisors available. Then from here, you're going to select it. You'll fill out the appointment survey. You'll request it, and then you will get an email from the advisor confirming the appointment. Right, and so that's how to make one on Handshake. So I hope to have appointments with all of you.